Beyond the Gates spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful, sunny Wednesday, but things are anything but bright and sunny in the world of our favorite daytime drama. Grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the absolute chaos that just unfolded on our screens today. I am literally shaking right now. I cannot even begin to process what just happened on my screen, and I know for a fact that I am not the only one screaming at the television today. I mean, we all knew Tomas Navarro was a slimy, opportunistic, self-serving snake, but this, going public with private DNA results? I have been watching this show religiously since 2015. I have seen villains do some incredibly low, despicable things, but this is entirely on another level of absolute garbage behavior. Reacting first because I just need to get this out of my system before my head actually explodes from the sheer audacity of it all. Tomas just stood up in front of everyone and dropped the absolute mother of all bombshells. Naomi is not Bill Hamilton's biological daughter. Like, what in the actual world is happening right now? I am so furious. I am typing this up late at night because I cannot sleep. My mind is racing with all the implications, all the fallout, and just the sheer unadulterated evil of this man. And the worst part? He looks so smug about it. He looks like he just won the lottery when all he did was detonate a nuclear bomb in the middle of a family that is already going through absolute hell. I just can't. I literally cannot. But let's back up for a second because I am getting way ahead of myself, and my blood pressure is through the roof. Okay, back to the point. We need to talk about the absolute state of Bill's law firm right now and how we even got to this catastrophic moment. Bill is currently lying in a hospital bed, fighting for his life. And we, the audience, know exactly why he is in that bed. We know that his wife, Haley, who is unequivocally the worst Black Widow copycat in the history of daytime television, has been slowly, methodically poisoning him since October 2025. She is the real threat here. She is the actual villain who is trying to destroy Bill. But does Tomas see that? Of course not. Because Tomas is so blinded by his own massive, fragile ego and his desperate thirst for power that he cannot see the forest for the trees. He is completely fixated on Naomi. He has convinced himself, in his twisted, paranoid little mind, that Naomi is using Bill's hospitalization as a convenient excuse to stage a hostile takeover of the firm. He thinks she is trying to sideline him and steal his spotlight. I mean, the delusion is actually staggering. So, instead of focusing on the firm's highly demanding clients, or, I don't know, showing an ounce of human compassion for his boss who is currently incapacitated and hooked up to machines, Tomas goes on the offensive. He has always seen himself as Bill's natural successor. Why? Because he's an arrogant junior partner who thinks he is God's gift to the legal world. He has clashed with Naomi before, even though everyone and their mother knows that Bill explicitly chose Naomi to take over the reins if anything ever happened to him. Bill trusts Naomi. Bill chose Naomi. But Tomas just cannot accept that reality. He cannot stomach the idea of playing second fiddle to a woman who is vastly more competent, vastly more level-headed, and vastly more deserving of the leadership position. And because he is so deeply insecure, he projects all of his own ruthless, backstabbing tendencies onto her. He thinks she is trying to push him out while the boss is away. It is classic psychological projection, and it is honestly pathetic to watch him unravel like this. And let's talk about Naomi for a minute, because she deserves so much better than this absolute circus of a workplace. Naomi is not Bill. She doesn't have that ruthless, cutthroat, destroy everyone in my path energy that Bill is so famous for. Bill would bulldoze anyone who got in his way, but Naomi operates differently. And you know what? That is exactly what the firm needs right now. The firm needs stability. It needs someone who can keep the lights on, reassure the panicked clients, and make sure everything runs smoothly until Bill can get back on his feet. Naomi is literally just trying to do her job. She is trying to honor Bill's wishes and keep his legacy intact while he is fighting a mysterious illness. She is not staging a coup. She is not trying to push Tomas out or steal his glory. She is just trying to manage a massive crisis with grace and professionalism. But Tomas's anxiety and his massive inferiority complex are making him act like a cornered rat. He is so terrified that Naomi is going to outshine him that he decides to go completely nuclear. Which brings us to the DNA test. I am sorry, but can we talk about this DNA test for a second? How on earth did Tomas even get his hands on this information? Did he steal a coffee cup from her desk? Did he bribe a lab technician at the hospital? Did he hire a private investigator to dig through her trash? The ethical violations here are just astronomical. He is a lawyer, for crying out loud. He should know better than to illegally obtain private, medical, and genetic information and then broadcast it to the entire world just to win an office dispute. But this is Tomas we are talking about, so ethics went out the window a long time ago. He was so desperate to delegitimize Naomi, so desperate to strip her of her authority and her connection to Bill, that he resorted to the absolute dirtiest trick in the soap opera playbook. Oh, you think you're in charge because you're the boss's daughter? Well, guess what? You're not even his real daughter. It is so cheap. It is so incredibly vile. It makes my skin crawl just thinking about how low he stooped. Remember when they tried a storyline like this back in 2019 with the McBride family? When they tried to say that one of the kids wasn't biologically related just to stir up drama over an inheritance? Yeah, didn't work then either. It just felt like a cheap shock value tactic. And it feels like one now. But I have to admit, the execution this time around is definitely hitting harder because the stakes are so much higher. The firm is incredibly vulnerable right now. Bill is physically vulnerable. And Naomi has been working so incredibly hard to prove herself to everyone. To have the rug pulled out from under her in such a public, humiliating way, it is just devastating. I can only imagine the absolute betrayal she is feeling right now. She thought she was fighting a professional battle, a boardroom skirmish over management styles and client retention. She had no idea Tomas was digging into her actual genetics to use as a weapon of mass destruction. And let's really dig into the psychology of a man who would do something like this. Tomas is weak. That is the bottom line. Strong people, confident people, they don't need to destroy someone's family identity to win an argument about office management. Tomas knows, deep down in his soul, that he cannot beat Naomi on merit. He cannot outwork her, he cannot outstrategize her, and he certainly cannot outclass her. So he goes for the absolute lowest blow imaginable. He thinks this DNA reveal is his ultimate trump card. He thinks that by proving Naomi isn't Bill's biological daughter, he will somehow magically become the rightful heir to the firm and everyone will just bow down to him. It is such a flawed, idiotic logic. Does he really think the clients care about Naomi's DNA? The clients care about who is winning their cases and keeping their secrets safe. But Tomas is too blinded by his own jealousy to see that he is destroying the firm's reputation in the process. I know some people are loving this twist. I have seen the forums, I have seen the group chats, and my Twitter feed is blowing up. People are saying, oh, this is classic soap drama, this is exactly what we want, give us the messy family secrets. And okay, I get it. The drama is definitely peaking right now. The shock value is completely off the charts. But personally, I am just so disgusted by Tomas that I can barely enjoy the twist. I hate seeing a competent, strong female character get dragged through the mud by a mediocre man throwing a temper tantrum because he isn't getting his way. It just grates on my nerves so badly. Naomi has put up with so much nonsense from this guy over the years, and she has always tried to be the bigger person. She has tried to help him check his ego. She has tried to keep him focused on the work. And this is how he repays her? By dropping a genetic bomb on her entire life? It is completely unforgivable. Wait, I need to pause and think about Bill for a second. Because Bill is going to wake up? Let that sink in for a moment. Bill Hamilton is currently unconscious, recovering from whatever the heck Haley did to him. But he is not dead. The spoilers literally say, Bill Chucheto. Bill is not dead. And when he wakes up, and when he finds out what Tomas has done while he was incapacitated, oh my god, the absolute bloodbath that is going to follow will be legendary. Bill might have a pacemaker now, he might be physically weakened by months of slow poisoning, but his mind is as sharp and as ruthless as ever. If Tomas thinks Naomi is a threat, he has absolutely no idea what is coming for him when Bill gets wind of this betrayal. Bill is going to destroy Tomas. He is going to systematically dismantle this man's entire life and career, piece by piece. You do not mess with Bill Hamilton's family, biological or otherwise. You do not publicly humiliate the person he explicitly chose to run his empire. I am literally counting down the days until Bill finds out. Like the note said, Tomas is going to need to start practicing the phrase, would you like fries with that? Because his legal career is officially over. It is done. Finished. Kaput. Bill will make sure Tomas is disbarred, blacklisted, and chased out of the DMV area so fast his head will spin. He will never practice law again. And honestly, I am here for it. I am completely 100% here for the absolute destruction of Tomas Navarro. I want to see him lose everything. But until Bill wakes up, Naomi is going to have to weather this massive storm alone. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because how is she going to react? Is she going to crumble? Is she going to run away and let Tomas win? I really, really hope not. I want to see Naomi tap into a little bit of that Hamilton ruthlessness that she has been trying so hard to avoid. She might not be biologically related to Bill, but she has learned from him. She has watched him operate for years. She knows how to fight dirty if she has to. I want her to stand up in that boardroom, wipe away her tears, look Tomas dead in the eye, and absolutely obliterate him with pure legal strategy. I want her to prove that DNA doesn't make you a Hamilton. Loyalty, competence, and sheer grit make you a Hamilton. And what does this mean for the rest of the family? What does this mean for Isaiah? The Hawthorne family tree is getting so complicated, I literally need a whiteboard and a bunch of red string to keep track of it all. If Naomi isn't Bill's daughter, then who is her real father? Is this going to open up a whole new can of worms? Are we going to get another mystery character introduced next month? I swear, If they bring back some long-lost twin or a presumed dead ex-lover from 20 years ago to be her real dad, I am going to lose my mind. We already have enough going on with Haley poisoning people and Heather acting like a total creep with Vanessa. We don't need another massive paternity mystery. But knowing these writers, that is exactly what we are going to get. Speaking of Haley, can we just take a moment to laugh at the absolute irony of this entire situation? Tomas is running around screaming about Naomi staging a coup and being a massive threat, while the boss's wife is literally poisoning him to death. It is almost comical how completely oblivious Tomas is. He is so focused on the wrong enemy. If he really wanted to protect the firm, if he really wanted to prove his worth to Bill, and show that he is a competent investigator, he would be looking into Haley. He would be teaming up with Kat Richardson, who is actually doing the hard work and digging into Lynette Wise's disappearance. But no, Tomas is too busy playing Maury Povich with stolen DNA results to notice that there is an actual, literal murderer operating right under his nose. It just goes to show how petty and small-minded Tomas really is. He doesn't care about Bill's health. He doesn't care about the long-term survival of the firm. He only cares about himself and his own immediate gratification. And that is exactly why he will never be the true successor. Bill might be a lot of things. He might be a cheater who left Danny for Haley. He might be a ruthless manipulator who hurts the people he loves. But he built an empire from the ground up. He has vision. Tomas has zero vision. Tomas only has jealousy. And jealousy is a terrible, crumbling foundation for a legal empire. You cannot build a legacy on spite. And Tomas is about to learn that the hard way. I am also really curious to see how Caroline Lee reacts to all of this madness. Caroline is Bill's assistant, and she is fiercely, fiercely loyal to him. She is the one who stepped in and saved Bill when Haley's little medical intervention backfired. Caroline knows what is going on behind the scenes. She knows that Naomi is the rightful leader right now, and that Bill trusts her implicitly. I want to see Caroline and Naomi team up. I want to see them form an unbreakable alliance and just completely shut Tomas out of every single important meeting. Imagine the power of those two women working together to protect Bill's legacy while he is incapacitated. That is the kind of female empowerment storyline I want to see, not this biological warfare nonsense that Tomas is dragging them into. And let's talk about the timing of all this. Why now? Why did Tomas choose this exact moment to drop the DNA bomb? Because he is a coward, plain and simple. He knew he couldn't do this while Bill was healthy and walking around the office. He knew Bill would have crushed him instantly, without a second thought. He waited until Bill was on his deathbed, or so he thought, to make his cowardly move. It is the ultimate act of weakness. He is kicking a man while he is down, and he is attacking a woman when she is already overwhelmed with trying to keep a multi-million-dollar business afloat during a crisis. It just makes me hate him even more, and I didn't even think that was possible. If you are going to be a villain, at least have the guts to face your enemies head-on. Don't hide behind stolen medical records and convenient timing like a pathetic little rat. Am I the only one who feels like Tomas is just a symptom of a much larger problem at that law firm? Bill has created such a toxic, hyper-competitive environment over the years that it naturally breeds people like Tomas. When you reward ruthlessness over integrity, when you pit your employees against each other for your own amusement, this is what you get. You get junior partners who are willing to destroy families and break the law just to get a corner office. In a way, Bill brought this on himself by cultivating this kind of culture. But that doesn't make it any less painful for Naomi. She is the innocent victim in all of this. She is collateral damage in a war she didn't even want to fight. She just wanted to do her job and make her supposed father proud. I'm just so anxious for next week's episodes. I need to see the immediate aftermath of this reveal. I need to see the look on Naomi's face when the shock wears off and the pure, unadulterated anger sets in. I need to see Tomas realize that he has made a massive, catastrophic mistake, because he absolutely has. He might think he won the battle today. He might be smirking in that boardroom right now, but he has absolutely lost the war. He has alienated everyone at that firm. No one is going to trust him after this. If he is willing to do this to Naomi, the boss's chosen successor, what is he willing to do to the other partners? What is he willing to do to the clients if they cross him? He is a massive liability now. A walking, talking, breathing liability that the firm cannot afford to keep around. And what about Danny? How is Danny going to react when she hears about this absolute train wreck? Danny just made that massive Freudian slip, calling Bill her husband in front of Anita, Vernon, and Nicole. She is dealing with her own intense family tribunal right now, and she is terrified of her elevator secret coming out. But she still cares deeply about Bill, and by extension, she probably cares about the stability of his firm and his legacy. When news of Tomas's stunt reaches the Dupree family, it is just going to add more fuel to the fire. Everyone in Fairmont Crest is going to be talking about this. It is the scandal of the year, and it is going to completely overshadow everything else. The ripple effects of Tomas's actions are going to be felt by every single character on this canvas. Honestly, I just need Naomi to catch a break for once in her life. The woman has been working tirelessly, dealing with Tomas's insubordination, worrying about Bill's failing health, and trying to keep a level head. She deserves respect, not this horrific public humiliation. I am praying to the soap opera gods that the writers give her a triumphant, glorious comeback arc. I don't want her to shrink away and cry in a corner. I want her to own it. I want her to stand up, adjust her blazer, and say, you know what? I might not share Bill's DNA, but I share his work ethic, his drive, and his legal brilliance. And that is why I am in charge. And you are just a bitter, pathetic little man who will never amount to anything. Oh, that would be so incredibly satisfying. I would literally stand up and cheer in my living room if she did that. So, what do you guys think? Will Tomas actually get away with this despicable stunt? Or is his career officially on life support? Will Naomi fight back and prove that she is the rightful leader, regardless of what some stolen biology report says? And seriously, how fast is Bill going to fire him when he finally wakes up and realizes what happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because I desperately need to vent with people who understand this absolute madness. This show is going to give me a heart attack, I swear, but I cannot stop watching. Until next time, stay passionate, stay vocal, and let's keep analyzing every single crazy twist they throw at us.